What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about how to not annoy Norwegians. As Americans, we are kind of known for being annoying when we travel to other countries like Norway. And it's kind of because of our American behaviors, the way we act, the way that Americans pretend everywhere is like America and we don't bother to learn about the local customs or culture or how to act normal in other countries. And so I thought it would actually be very fun and entertaining and educational for me to learn about how you can avoid annoying Norwegians by looking at this discussion where somebody asked, can I get some tips on how to not piss off Norwegian people as a foreigner? Which I think every American should read this discussion. How do I not piss off Norwegians when I visit? I actually am really curious about what Norwegians have commented and said about this exact topic. So let's take a look. Don't call Kvik lunch a Norwegian Kit Kat. Oh, I actually understand this. I understand this reference. Kvik lunch. That's a popular Norwegian snack. Let me pull it up here, actually. So if I pull up Kvik lunch, yeah, it does. Right. It's this. Let me look at an image of it. I mean, yeah. Looking at some of these, Americans would absolutely think, this is a Norwegian Kit Kat. I've never had a Kvik lunch. Apparently, it is better. Norwegians say that this is better than a Kit Kat. So Kit Kat, calling this a Kit Kat would be an insult. And it's not a Kit Kat, right? It's not made by the same company. It's not. I don't know how similar they actually are. They look similar, I gotta admit that. But the Kit Kat is obviously inferior. That's what I hear. The Kvik lunch is literally the only thing I have ever seen that looks kind of like a Kit Kat. So I would expect a lot of Americans to make that mistake. A lot of Americans. So I hope Norwegians have a little patience with Americans like myself who might accidentally be like, oh, is that a Kit Kat? Even though, no, it's not. It's a Kvik lunch. Apparently Norwegians bring those on like hiking and stuff. And I don't know if it's like a candy or like a miniature lunch. I'd like to learn more about that. But for now, what are more things that you should not do so that you don't annoy Norwegians? For Brits. Oh, for Brits. See, this makes me feel a little bit better. This is a Norwegian calling out British people. No, it's not just Americans that annoy Norwegians when we visit. For Brits, don't play dubstep in front of reindeers? Oh my god. Are Brits actually playing dubstep? Music, loud music in front of the poor reindeers? Do not compare the size of our chicken eggs to the gherkin? What is a gherkin? I've never even heard of this word before. Hold on. Gherkin? Gherkin? Is it a pickled cucumber? What? Small pickled cucumber. Wait, what? Don't compare the size of our chicken eggs to the gherkin? What? Do Norwegian chicken eggs look like a pickle? Can I do gherkin chicken? Am I getting the correct thing here? Yeah? Yeah, it's just pickles again and chicken. I'm a little confused on that one. But okay, I won't compare Norwegian chicken eggs to gherkin. Okay. That's obscure. If you go skiing, try not to fall blocking all the tracks. That's a good one for Americans as well. When winter does come around in the United States, you can either travel somewhere in the US where there's snow, or In a lot of places, there's fake snow. We make a lot of fake snow that so that we can go skiing and snowboarding. And so some Americans know like the etiquette around skiing. If you're gonna fall, don't take anyone down with you. Don't fall in the middle of the ski slope. And Americans would definitely be falling quite a bit compared to Norwegians. Skiing is not our like national sport or national something we all do at all. What else? Drive on the right hand side of the road. Wait, d- drive on the right hand side of the road unless you are a snowmobile or you're in Finnmark after 8. I am. These are very, very specific. I don't understand this exactly. So drive on the right hand side of the road. Yes, we would do that in the US as well. But if you're on a snowmobile, you can do whatever you want. And if you're in Finnmark after 8, doesn't matter. Do whatever you want? Is that what I'm hearing here? And don't refer to the aurora borealis as Wembley of the night sky. Wembley of the night sky. Wembley. What is Wembley again? Is that like a football thing? Wembley Stadium. Yeah, isn't that a place or yeah, the Northern Lights? Probably don't call the Northern Lights something that like a reference to your own country because it's definitely very special and probably not comparable to I don't know. I don't even really understand what this means. Wembley of the night sky. I can't stop laughing. This needs to go on a sign outside of the airport. Apparently, a lot of Norwegians agree with all this. Don't play dubstep in front of the reindeer. Don't compare the chicken eggs to gherkin. Don't fall in front of people skiing. Drive on the right hand side of the road unless you're on a snowmobile or you're in Finnmark at 8. And don't call Aurora Borealis something else. Okay. these are these are very, very specific things Norwegians get annoyed at. This is actually quite educational, quite a good discussion. It's a lot more specific than I thought. I thought it would mostly be like, don't do small talk. Don't small talk with me. Don't be loud. Don't get too close to me. This is a lot more specific, how to not annoy Norwegians. And I like that. It's actually more entertaining. What else? How do you not annoy a Norwegian? There's not much that would piss off a Norwegian that a normal tourist would do. Oh, so are Norwegians kind of used to tourists? That's actually an interesting thought because here in the United States, we don't get a lot of tourism. Like when I really think about it, it's very, very rare. I mean, it depends. It depends. If you live in New York City or if you live in Los Angeles, you're going to see tourists. But in most of the United States, it's mostly just Americans. I don't think there are a ton of Europeans vacationing over here, to be honest. So we don't interact with tourists much, and it's kind of fun when you run into someone in the United States who's not from here. It's really interesting. We get very excited. Norwegians probably see a fair bit more tourism. A lot of, Norway is it's famous amongst countries as a wonderful place to live, amazing place to vacation with all the amazing geography and everything Norway has to offer. Norway probably has a lot of tourism. Maybe you're just used to it. Maybe Norwegians are just used to the tourists. Don't talk too loud on buses or trains or at the cafe. Yeah, this is more what I expected with how to not be annoying. And Americans definitely would have a difficult time with this, for sure, because I've said this before. Americans we only think about ourselves. We don't think about other people a lot or how we affect other people. It's part of our culture to focus on yourself. So Americans are very loud and annoying and don't even realize that we're annoying other people. We're affecting people. Yeah, it's kind of bad. It's bad. The few times a tourist could piss me off is either if they are talking loudly in a calm place. Yeah. Americans, you'd be surprised. Americans can be very, very unaware. Even here in America, I find that I am shocked at how loud and annoying people are. Like, I'm even here in America, I'm shocked. I guess but it's not that abnormal, but I still shake my head and I'm like, how can you be that loud? Oh my gosh. Or if a tourist says something to the effect of, ugh, everything's so expensive here, right? I could see that getting annoying. And that does kind of show that you didn't do any research before going there, and complaining will not make it cheaper. Right, right. Americans definitely like to complain. Oh my gosh, I bet one thing that would annoy Norwegians would be if an American or a tourist came and started complaining about how cold it is or how dark it is. Like, just complaining about things that Norwegians have to live with and are used to. That would be annoying, I bet. What else do we have here? How to not annoy Norwegians. If you're generally not being an a-hole, you should be fine. Well, the definition of an a-hole kind of changes depending on where you live. I think a lot of Norwegians would call Americans like bad words, even though here in America our threshold is a lot higher for what is acceptable. On a less serious note, you must love, or pretend to love, brunost, waffles, and you have to express a friendly hatred towards dumb Swedes. I've heard this before. I've heard about the rivalry between Norway and Sweden. I think it is very funny. It's almost like brothers or siblings. A friendly rivalry. Please, no speakerphone in public. Yeah, you know what is really common in the United States? People driving around in their car, blasting music as loud as they can. That's very common. And people will play loud music in their car, even when driving through a neighborhood, or even when it's late at night. It's really, really annoying. So I agree with that. No speakerphones in public. Although they're just talking about talking on the phone. Oh man, yeah, I think a lot of Americans would make this mistake in Norway. A lot of Americans take calls on speakerphone. It's not. I think it's kind of rude, but I wouldn't be shocked if someone was doing it. Are you Swedish? Oh no! Oh no! Are you Swedish? Oh, the ultimate insult for a Norwegian. Oh no, no. How could you go to Norway and start going up to people and being like, "Are you Swedish?" That just, aside from being an insult to Norwegians, calling them Swedish, that's just like your ignorance. Like, do you even know where you are? You're in Norway. I know there might be some Swedish people in Norway, but what? That's just not something you do. Tell every Norwegian that the Swedes are in general better at winter sports. Oh, there's a lot of, oh, we're getting to all the Swedish stuff now. There's a lot of comments on how commenting on Sweden will annoy Norwegians. Do not call Swedes better at winter sports. Even people who have no interest in sports will pipe up and correct you. Oh my, that's funny. Even Norwegians that don't care about sports will be like, "What did you say? What did you say? What did you say about Sweden?" Oh, what else do we have? Norwegians and Brits often get along well, and people in the north are more open, direct, and have greater hospitality than other parts of Norway. I like that some of the Norwegians here are talking about other countries other than the United States. Because I always think of, when I think of annoying tourists, I think of the United States. I think we have a very bad reputation as tourists, for good reason. We just act like Americans everywhere we go. So learning about Brits behaving annoying in Norway is kind of funny to me. People value their personal space, peace and quiet. And saying hey is not an invitation to start a conversation. Okay, that's a big difference too. there's just a lot of social customs that are different in America and Norway. That's the big leap. Americans needing to learn what is socially acceptable um, when interacting with Norwegians. Americans can be annoying just on our own, just playing loud music or being loud or on our phone, but we also have to learn about how to interact with Norwegians correctly, socially correctly, and appropriately. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask someone. People are willing to help, and most people speak fluent English. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Norway is a great place to go if you're an American, because Norwegians are amazingly bilingual. That's something I've learned. A lot of Americans don't actually realize that Norway has English speakers, that Norwegians are so good at English. I think more Americans would travel to Norway if they found out. Maybe Norwegians want me to keep this a secret. Norwegians are like, no, don't tell the other Americans. Yeah, Norway is very English friendly. I did not know that for the longest time. It's actually incredible. What else do we have here? There's only been one time a tourist actually pissed me off. That was when I worked at the History Museum in North Cape. At the time, we used stickers for tickets, and you stick to your jacket and keep it on hand. Okay, they work at a museum, they're giving out sticker tickets. Instead, one of them stuck the sticker to one of the attractions. Yeah, that's a pretty big difference as well. I mean, crime in general is more common in America. Americans definitely lack that respect that I think Norwegians have. Norwegian society has a lot more respect. Like, I learned Norwegians leave their babies out in strollers outside of stores. Like, Norwegians are very trusting of each other. And that's just not how it is here in America. So I am not surprised at all that somebody stuck the ticket to one of the attractions. I would expect that happens all the time here. Americans like graffiti and carving stuff in with their keys into stuff and putting stickers on stuff. Yeah, all the time. In any case, I've lived most of my life in a tourist town and worked at the museum for a while. My dad drove a tourist bus for a few years. None of us have any complaints except for the sticker incident. That's the number one complaint. Somebody like defacing some of the property, putting a sticker on. Okay, that's fair. Because, and I kind of get it. Because people can be annoying, they can say stuff and do things that are annoying. But, like, defacing property, putting a sticker on it, something, that's like ruining it for everyone. So that's a special kind of annoying. Yeah. Don't block my way. This Norwegian is very straightforward. Don't block my way. It's annoying. Don't block my way. It's seriously, every other day, I have to push through some tourist standing in a doorway of a store or on a bus, taking up the whole street, not moving. This is so true. This is such an American thing to do as well. So many of these things are American things, and they all stem from the fact that Americans don't care about other people enough. We need to think about others. It's something we really need to change and be more of a community. I love that about Norway. But yeah, Americans, all the time, people, oh my gosh, people in cities will just stand there blocking the street. People will block the aisle in a grocery store. People will stand in the doorway or in the bus. It's crazy. This is actually just making me like think about how annoying Americans are here in America. But I know it's not going to change anytime soon here in America. But I do think when Americans travel to other countries and travel to Norway, it is our obligation to learn about the local culture and learn about how we can respect the culture and how to not be annoying. Which is exactly why I thought it'd be really fun to take a look at this discussion. Norwegians talking about the annoying things we do And I think this was very, very entertaining, very educational. I actually learned a few things here that Americans definitely would do. But now I know better. I know better. I know how to behave myself a little bit. This was actually quite funny and quite fun. I enjoyed it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, perhaps with what you think are some ways Americans can avoid being annoying in Norway. What are annoying things Americans do? That'd be funny to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and Norwegian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.